Hey team, happy Nonprofit Advent. This year's Nonprofit Advent was a little bit strange, a little bit non-traditional. Just last year we had the 12 Days of Christmas Nonprofit Advent. This year we are doing more of a causes nonprofit advent just because I'm a little bit behind, and it made more sense to me right now to start thinking outside the box and thinking about what projects I would like to fund, just because with all the nonprofits, you never quite know necessarily what project your money is going to. And I have been doing an extensive amount of research lately, and I have found some cool things that I would want to support. So I kind of went a different direction this time, and I would love to share because I think it's great ideas here, and I don't know if it's all in our power to do anything about, but it's a democracy, and I think if we need to go grassroots or if we want change, we should say something. So, or maybe not change, but if you want something to happen, if you want to make the world a better place, then fight for it. So this is my list. I'm just going to go ahead and read it off. I think it's pretty great, and this is a great way to start the conversation as well. So go ahead and leave comments about your thoughts on these things. Otherwise, my causes for this year's Nonprofit Advent, it's kind of paired with Causes 365. So 1, how to eliminate the need to drop fecal matter into large lakes and the ocean. I do believe that I went swimming in macerated poop at one point, and you can just lift it into your hands and it's macerated poop. It just floated in. You can dump it within 100 feet of the shoreline, and of course it's been treated, so in theory it's okay, but I feel like this day and age, we can just plan ahead and we can sort something out that we don't need to be dumping trash within, 300 feet, or poop within 100. So I think I'll have to double check those numbers. It's been a couple months since I found those, but look into it. It's interesting. 2, how to eliminate the dropping of garbage in large lakes and oceans. So already touched on that. Hydropower. Number 3, hydropower of some sort at the Coon Rapids Regional Park Dam. They're redoing it to make it more of a Mississippi River cultural space, and it said, I went to visit, and it said that it used to be used for hydropower, and then it just wasn't efficient. But I'm wondering, with modern technology, if we could go ahead and make use of that dam and take some of our renewables off of our oomph off of solar panels in that region, just because it's good to diversify our portfolio in our renewable resources. And I feel like if we put research into more efficient, more sustainable hydropower, I think that would be way good. So that way we are not all solar or wind turbines. We want to diversify and make the best use of the resources that we do have, like the dam. So let's see, hydropower from Lake Superior. I did some research, and there's this cool, essentially a wind turbine in the water that that you can install. It might have some negative effects on ocean life or lake life in that context, but the tide comes in, the tide goes out every day, and it's constant, and it's very powerful, especially in Duluth, especially if you've got a storm, if you've got waves. If you have seen the webcam from the lighthouse, it gets intense. I think we can make use of that, and I'd like to see us do that, just because obviously we want to make sure that we take care of everyone and we have our renewables taken care of, especially since we just never know how the fossil fuel situation is going and how much we have left. Obviously, there's research going into that as well, but emphasis has been on renewables for a very long time, and I think it's good to dabble in those lesser known fields. So hydropower from Lake Superior. Buckthorn eradication. I think that this could be used as a cellulosic feedstock for ethanol or biofuels. So if we can come up with some sort of cooperative unit. I know I'm working with natural resources right now. I think it'd be great. We have a lot of cellulosic feedstock that could be put to use, whether it be invasives. We're out there, weeks and weeks throughout the season, cutting down trees, and we've got how many wood chippers going, and how much just times do we have, like parsnip and just stems and all sorts of stuff we could put to use if we can find out a way to partner. And it might have to be a micro scale ethanol production, and I don't know much about that, so it'd be worth looking into. But it'd be way cool to be able to use those resources, put them to good use, and take some of the stress off of our agriculture, and that is going to help our water footprint and reduce the load of that on our agricultural practices. So I'd love to see that happen. Electric car chargers at more gas stations. I was considering going electric because I do think that is going to save the planet. Obviously, if we use renewables, get our dependence off fossil fuels, that'll be 100% great. It'll reduce the amount of carbon emissions, and that'll help our air. It won't get as hot, global warming. And I know I expressed some concern over how the heck you're going to charge your electric car. If you are going on a long road trip, obviously you need to know that there's going to be a resource there. I did some research, and there are battery banks and battery power banks, but you want to know that there's going to be a place you can charge your electric car at all gas stations. It needs to be marked. It needs to be loud and proud, and we need as many as possible. So 100% pro that. Giant Native American Heritage Park. I would love to see that happen. I know I was kind of daydreaming about having it at up in Duluth at the old school site that was for sale, and I think that was purchased. I have no idea what they're doing there, but I just thought it'd be great to kind of see more of that. I know there's a big site up in Grand Portage, and they're kind of scattered throughout the state of Minnesota, but I would love to see something magnificent. And I of course started to daydream and play and dabble in designing it, and it was so much fun. Of course, I don't really have a right. I am not Native American, but I just want to see it happen. So I think that'd be very cool. Let's see. 8 is actually the cellulosic feedstock for the ethanol biofuel. So I kind of stole that from the buckthorn eradication. And I just think buckthorn is ridiculous, and I think that it grows fast. So it might help, it helped to close the canopy in a hurry if we wanted to capture some carbon. But I think we are moving to, I don't know if that would be a reason to keep the buckthorn around, but I think getting rid of it and having native plants in place would be fantastic. And again, we can make use of that. That is a potential fuel source. So it spreads so fast, it's ridiculous. So let's make use of it if we can. Let's see, converting unused property to parks and forest land. Again, I believe in green spaces. I think they are so important. I think that they can help cool the environment. I think that they add a level of peace and prosperity to a community. Provide oxygen. They could potentially have food sources for those of lower income. So I safe places for kids to play and get exercise, kind of adventure in the mundane. So I think they're 100% worth having around. And I'd love to see more of that. Urban green spaces movement. I made a video previously. It was potentially argumentative, but I'd love to see more green spaces in the urban environment. I think that would help cut some of the heat transfer in the, just make it cooler, make it safer, make it happier. I don't know. So urban green spaces movement, converting grass to other ground cover. You won't have to mow, which will save resources. We don't need to be stuck on grass. I think it will be good fodder for the bees, so then we can have more bees around, which means more pollination, cross-pollination, which means more apples and more foodstuffs. So 100% pro that. Also, I think it's, a mythical fairyland when you have flowers around as grass. I was looking into nitrogen fixing plants as well. Great for the soil. So all sorts of different options, and there's definitely more science to be done there, but I'd love to see us get off grass, just because it's, I think the maintenance is untenable. I think that it's a waste of resources. So let's see. DIY upcycling scholarships. I actually wanted to start a private foundation to offer just $500 school scholarships or educational scholarships to those who are also interested in upcycling, like I am with Sunkist Lynn. So that is on the list of things to do. As going to be great. So I do believe in that. I want to see innovation and imagination, creativity, and reusing the stuff that we have, and keeping it out of the waste streams. And I think that that's very important, and it will help save the planet. Let's see, old building preservation and conversion to historical monuments or for modern use. I love old buildings. I think they have such great character, and I would love to see them put to good use. I know that there are alliances and organizations out there that can, that do this. I'd love to be a part of it. I actually applied for a position and was turned on for helping to preserve old buildings and kind of meet with the community and sort out resources for such things. But it's okay. I do believe believe that it's worth doing. I think preserving cultural heritage is important. I think preserving history is important, and it's us. We are shaping the future, and I think that the history is something that can be embraced and used to illustrate where we've been and where we're going and our story. So I think it's great to use those resources and take care of them and keep moving forward with them. So let's see. Rebuilding glaciers. I saw an experiment online last year that was a snow lab, and they just had feet and feet and feet of snow. And I know with global warming, they were talking about all the glaciers melting, and it just reminded me that, you know, that would be kind of a fun project to to regrow glaciers and try and cool the atmosphere again, try and figure out that atmospheric science. So I love it. I think it's cool, a fun project, and I would love to see kind of what happens with that. Little free libraries, books everywhere. I love reading. I love sharing knowledge, and I love inspiring that inspiration in others. A lot of times books have, you know, I kind of show you what a good story is, and you know, I think that reading them and being familiar with a lot of them can help you think and grow and create in a more cohesive, dynamic way. And so I am 100% pro reading, and I think that everyone should do it. And I want that amount of literacy for everyone, all demographics. And I love that books are available to everyone, hopefully on every street corner, even beyond the hours of a traditional, say, library. I think it needs to happen, and I think it's great. So, respect campaign, anti-bullying, taking care of humans and animals alike. Very pro-respect. I just, you know, I think this day and age, there is no excuse for disrespect. So, be an adult and use your words. So, reduce, reuse, recycle. I think that that's kind of self-explanatory, and I think that we can kind of dabble in how exactly to support that cause, but it is one of them. It is what it is. Number 18, food plants in parks, snackables for all demographics and socioeconomic classes. It promotes interest in agriculture. It's obviously got positive reinforcers built in, snacks for everyone, and I think that that's very important to be able to provide for people. There are places where food scarcity exists, and I think that we can use our resources in our land area much more efficiently than we perhaps have been, and I'd love to see us have those natural, organic opportunities for everyone. Ethical healthcare practices with open communication between doctor and patient. I do believe that communication is 100% important. We want to make sure that everyone is on the same page. It reduces fear, it reduces stigma, and I think that there is no excuse for a lack of communication, and I think that we want to be able to move forward, and I think that communication is the most important thing in that. So let's see. The right to an education for all. Obviously, I wanted to be a teacher, and I believe that everyone deserves an education. I believe that it's, you know, we want to keep everyone on an even playing field. I just think that everyone has a right to that level of education, and I don't want anyone to be left behind. That was an act from when I was studying to be a teacher, No Child Left Behind, and I agree. So let's see, help to combat runoff into the Mississippi and fix the dead zone in the Mississippi Delta. I would love to see, there is a dead zone at the end of the Mississippi River, and I would love to see everything balanced back out, and I'd love to see life being prosperous again. So that's a huge project, but I want to see it happen, and that would be way amazing. So using post-consumer plastic over virgin material, obviously that has to do with fossil fuels, as well as kind of closing the circuit, closing the stream of our resources, and making sure that we use things sustainably and to the best of our ability. And I think there is a lot of opportunity and possibility in post-consumer plastics, and I'd love to see those recyclables put to good use. So That is one of them. Eradicating plastic bags from stores. That is actually, I kind of started my zero waste initiative when I stopped using plastic bags as garbage bags. And it was so important and so integral to my transformation into being a mindful citizen and into caring about the environment. And so I would love to see that happen. There are big stores that don't have bags, don't offer bags, and they seem to be doing just fine. And so I would love to see that a universal thing. Bring your own bag or just carry it, frankly. Or you can use paper as well. But I think we can sort it out. So just do it, and then whoa, it's done. So that's a big one. Local food in local restaurants. And I would love to work on that. My garden is not very cute right now, but I think that will reduce the amount of resources put into transportation, and I think it supports local agriculture, local communities, and I would love to see that happen. And last but not least, kindness, and that is where I'm going to end it. So, happy Nonprofit Advent, causes 365 style, causes Advent this summer. So we will see you in winter. Thank you.